Imagine this. It is 8 p.m. You are sitting on your couch, scrolling through your phone. Suddenly, the lights flicker once and die. The hum of the refrigerator stops. The street lights outside vanish. You check your phone, no Wi-Fi. You check your data, 0 bars. You try to turn on the tap, and the pressure is already fading. Everything has stopped. No internet, no payments, no 911. Most people think they could handle a week without power. They treat it like a camping trip. But history, infrastructure engineering, and disaster psychology tell us a different story. In a modern city in 2025, a 7-day total blackout isn't an inconvenience. It is a collapsing domino effect that turns a metropolis into a death trap. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how the systems that keep you alive unravel hour by hour. We are going to simulate the next 7 days of your life, your habits, your location, and the decisions you make in the first 24 hours will decide if you are a survivor or a statistic. Welcome to the Apocalypse Survival Academy. Let's begin. Let's set the scene. It is a Tuesday in 2025. The city is running on high-efficiency, interconnected grids. We rely on just-in-time delivery for food and cloud computing for everything else. Then it hits. It could be a massive coronal mass ejection, or CME, a solar storm hitting Earth's magnetic field with the force of 1 billion hydrogen bombs. Or it could be a coordinated cyber attack on the SCADA systems that regulate voltage, or perhaps a high-altitude EMP. The cause doesn't matter as much as the result. The grid trips. Safety protocols designed to protect the transformers fail because the surge is everywhere at once. This isn't a localized outage like Texas in 2021 or the Northeast blackout of 2003. This is a black start scenario. The entire system is down, and there is no neighbor with power to jumpstart the grid. Within 60 seconds, the silence hits. The background noise of modern life, the HVAC systems, the servers, the traffic signals, cuts out. If you are in an elevator, you are trapped. If you are on an electric train, you are coasting to a halt in a dark tunnel. If you are paying for groceries, the terminal freezes. Your credit card is now a useless piece of plastic. You look around, everyone is doing the same thing, holding their phones up, trying to get a signal. But the cell towers have limited battery backups, and the overload of millions of people trying to call out at once crashes the remaining bandwidth instantly. This is day 0. The clock has started. The first 24 hours are defined by one dangerous psychological state: normalcy bias. You tell yourself, it's just a blown transformer. It'll be back on in an hour. If you are at work in a high-rise, you might stay at your desk, waiting for the backup generators to kick in. But those usually only power emergency lights and elevators for evacuation, not the coffee machine and not the HVAC. The building begins to heat up. If you are commuting, you are in the worst possible position. Traffic lights are out, it's gridlock. Modern cars with electronic ignitions and driver assist systems may glitch or stall. You are stuck in a metal box miles from home. Here is where the unprepared make 3 critical mistakes that will cost them later in the week. Mistake 1, the digital drain. You spend the first 4 hours refreshing Twitter or Instagram, draining your phone battery, and using your flashlight app to look around. You have just wasted your most valuable communication tool and light source for nothing. Mistake 2, the water opportunity. Municipal water towers rely on gravity, but the pumps that fill them rely on electricity. There is still pressure in the pipes, but it's a ticking clock. The unprepared person sits on the couch. The survivor immediately fills the bathtub, sinks, pots, and every bottle in the house with water. That pressure will be gone by morning. Mistake 3, the grocery run. You see the lights go out and think, I better go to the store. You head into a crowded, dark supermarket. Panic is just starting. Without digital payments, cash is king, but the registers won't open. This is a high conflict zone. The prepared person stays away from crowds and assesses what they already have at home.
As night falls on day 0, the city is darker than you have ever seen it. No light pollution, just the stars and the sound of sirens that aren't stopping.
By the morning of day 2, hour 36, the novelty has worn off. The power isn't back. This is the slow collapse. Gas stations are chaos. Even if they have fuel underground, the electric pumps don't work. People are fighting over the last bags of ice to save their thawing freezer food. The just-in-time supply chain is broken. Supermarkets were stripped bare of water and canned goods yesterday. Now they are closed, boarded up, or being looted. If you are unprepared, you are likely part of the crowd wandering the streets, looking for a signal, looking for rumors. You are burning calories you can't replace and exposing yourself to desperate people. Here is what the prepared survivor is doing. 1. Stay put. The bug-in protocol. Unless your home is on fire or structurally unsafe, do not leave. The streets are unpredictable. Emergency services are overwhelmed. If you get injured in a crowd, no ambulance is coming. 2. Light discipline. At night, your apartment should look empty. If you have a lantern, use it in an interior room with blackout curtains. You do not want to advertise that you have supplies when your neighbors have none. 3. The blackout bag. You've consolidated your critical gear. You aren't digging through drawers in the dark. You have a headlamp with batteries, a power bank saved for emergencies, a manual pan opener, and, crucially, an analog map of your city. Google Maps is gone. Do you know where the nearest water source is without GPS? By the end of day 3, the city smells different. Garbage isn't being collected. Sewage lift stations are failing, backing up waste into the streets or basements. The reality is setting in. We are now crossing the 72-hour threshold. This is historically the tipping point in disaster sociology. Secondary systems fail. The food in your fridge has spoiled. If you eat that leftover chicken now, you risk food poisoning, which, without running water and functioning hospitals, is a life-threatening condition. Hospitals are running on the last fumes of their diesel generators. Ventilators stop. Dialysis centers close. Behavioral shift. Social cohesion begins to fray. It's not necessarily a Hollywood movie with gunfights in the streets yet, but the social contract is thin. You will see small acts of cooperation, neighbors sharing a grill to cook thawing meat, but you will also see opportunism. Unlocked cars are scavenged, bikes are stolen. You now face a decision branch. What do you do? Option A, stay in the city center. Pros, better structural shelter, potentially more leftover resources in buildings. Cons, high population density means high competition. Sanitation in high-rises is a nightmare. You cannot flush toilets. Fire risk is extreme as people use candles and makeshift stoves. Option B, leave for the outskirts. Pros, access to natural water sources, lower population density. Cons, you are a refugee. You are exposing yourself to the elements and traveling through unknown territory. The verdict: unless you have a specific, reachable destination with guaranteed supplies, like a relative's house with solar power 10 miles away, staying put is usually statistically safer than wandering. However, you must adapt. If you are alone, you are vulnerable. If you join a group, you have security, but you burn through supplies twice as fast. The best survival strategy here? The gray man. Look average. Look just as tired and hungry as everyone else. Do not wear tactical gear. Do not look like a target. Day 5. 120 hours without power. The city is now in full survival mode. Most people are dehydrated, sleep-deprived, and suffering from caffeine withdrawal. Cognitive function drops. Simple problems become impossible to solve. The invisible killer: water. By now, bottled water is gone. People are desperate. They might drink from a river, a decorative fountain, or a rain barrel without treating it. Lesson: you need to boil water, but you have no electric stove. Do you have a camping stove? Do you know how to build a safe fire? If you drink untreated water now, dysentery will take you out of the fight before the lights ever come back on. The high-stakes choice. It's day 6. A neighbor bangs on your door. They know you have food. They have a sick child. Do you open the door? This is the hardest part of survival. It's not about gear, it's about ethics. Altruism. If you help, you build an alliance. That neighbor might save your life later. Isolation. If you refuse, you keep your calories, but you create an enemy who knows you have supplies. There is no right answer, only consequences. In a 7-day scenario, community is usually a strength. In a 30-day scenario, it might be a liability. But for 1 week, being the guy who helped might save you when the power returns and society attempts to reset. Day 7 arrives. You were dirty, you were hungry. You haven't slept more than 3 hours at a time. The silence of the city is deafening. But if you are still hydrated, if you are still secure, and if you haven't taken unnecessary risks, you have made it.
The lights flicker, the grid reboots. The nightmare is over. But for many, the consequences are permanent. So, would you have survived? Let's look at your survival score. The passive victim. If you waited for help, scrolled on your phone, drank unsafe water, or went to the chaos of the supermarket on day 2, your chances of survival were low. You likely fell ill or were injured in the panic. The reactive survivor. If you reacted on day 2, barricaded your door and rationed what you had, your chances were medium. You survived, but you suffered. The proactive prepper. If you filled your bathtub at hour 0, had a backup battery, stayed off the streets, and kept a low profile, your chances were high. This scenario wasn't fiction. It was a rehearsal. Here are the 5 key lessons you need to take away for the real world. Water is king. You can live 3 weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. Store 5 gallons per person now. Go analog. Don't rely on your phone. Have a paper map of your area and a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio. Information is as valuable as food. The first 24 hours are critical. Beat the panic curve. When the lights go out, secure your home and your water immediately. Do not wait to see what happens. Community is insurance. The lone wolf dies. Get to know your neighbors before the disaster. A trusted group is the best security system. Mental resilience. Panic kills faster than dehydration. The ability to sit in the dark, breathe, and make a logical plan is your most important tool. If you want to know how to survive a viral pandemic in a megacity or a global cyber attack on the internet itself, hit that subscribe button. We simulate the worst so you can be the best. This is the Apocalypse Survival Academy. Stay prepared.